Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another live class. We're having our PEP performance task class this evening. I am Kamau Mahakoe, and I'll be facilitating the session as usual. We're going to get right into it, but before we do that, let me just quickly grab the link so I can share it and invite others to come and join us. Those in the chat, if you're just joining us, remember as you enter, get your books, get your pencils, and get ready to work out these problems. All right, so we are live. Let me invite everyone to come and join us. All right. As usual, I have some students in studio with me, and I'm going to invite them to come on the screen now. So we have Imani, we have Amari, and we have Madison, and we have Siobhan. I'm going to invite you to come up on the screen now. And I'm happy that you're here. Help me work these problems out. Just make sure that your cameras are on. Okay. All right, so my snipers are on. So let's get into it, and we're going to be doing this performance task together. Let me remind you that the PEP performance task is one that requires you to do serious thinking and problem solving. You are expected to, usually you're asked to do some kind of construction or some kind of design, and then you'll also more than likely be asked to work out the cost of material and so on. Now, I am going to read the entire task, and I would also recommend that when you go into the exam to do your performance task, read the entire thing, just to let your mind be acquainted with what is going to be expected of you. Read the whole thing without even trying to work anything out. So I'm going to read the whole thing, and then we're going to come back to the beginning and work it piece by piece. So this performance task is called the book fair. Dahlia's mother is an author, and she has decided to participate in a book fair in Kingston on Saturday to promote her new novel. She has asked Dahlia to help her work out the costs associated with the book fair, as well as to tend to the stall. All right, so that's a picture of Dahlia and her mom at the book fair. Dahlia and her mom work out the right stall and transportation costs. Part A, choosing the right stall. So Dahlia's mother has a budget of $16,000. She doesn't want to spend more than a half of this on the cost of the stall. She doesn't want to spend more than 1/8 of the budget on transportation. Dahlia's mother plans to take no more than 250 books to the fair. The remainder of the budget after the stall costs and transportation will go towards decorating the stall and purchasing lunch for them both. There are 3 types of rectangular stalls to choose from. One is a 2 feet by 2 feet, and the cost is $600 per square foot. Type 2 is 3 feet by 4 feet, and the cost is $500 per square foot. Type 3 is 4 feet by 6 feet, and the cost is $440 per square foot. Which two
Excuse
stalls
me, miss.
are in mom's budget, and give reasons for your answer.
Excuse me, miss. Sorry to interrupt, but we can't see what you're talking about.
I know, I'm going to share the screen.
Oh, okay.
Let me do that first. Let me share the screen because I'm going to come back and we're going to see. All right, so let me share the screen first. All right, so that's it. Are you able to see it?
Yes, miss.
Yes.
All right, so part B, getting transportation. Dahlia's mom got a taxi to take them to and from the venue. Taxi A charges $550 for one way, $1,000 for the round trip, so back and forth, $200 extra per box of books. And taxi B charges $600 for one way, $1,050 for the round trip, $300 each for the first two boxes, and $50 each for the other boxes. And 50 books can hold in one box. So which taxi offers the better deal? How much money from the budget remains to be spent on decorations and lunch? And part C, calculating the sales. Dahlia noted all the sales. 4/5 of the books were sold. If the price of each book was $18.50, how much money was made in sales for that day? And finally, question 2 of part C, Dahlia's mom gave away 12 of the remaining books as free samples. How many books did they return with at the end of the book fair? So it's a lot. But this is what the PEP performance task will be like. This is a sample that I wrote, but it gives you an idea of what the actual performance task will be like. So there are several parts. There's a lot of reading. For those who are not familiar with this format, you'll say, why so many words? It's a mathematics performance task. Why so many words? But you have to get used to this. This is the format. So let's go back to the first question. Or Madison, can you read it for me? To those who are just joining, good night. Welcome.
Okay.
Okay, welcome. Brandon, welcome. Go ahead.
Miss, I can't see at the bottom.
When you get there, I'll just fill in.
Okay, miss. Dahlia's mother is an author, and she has decided to participate in a book fair in Kingston on Saturday to promote her new novel. She has asked Dahlia to help her work out the costs associated with the book fair.
As well as stall. All right. So here we have Dahlia and mom, and you are going to help Dahlia and her mom to work out the right stall to choose based on her budget and the transportation cost. The better with taxi options to choose. All right, Amari, can you read part A?
Okay, miss. Part A, choosing the right stall. Dahlia's mother has a budget of $16,600. She doesn't want to spend more than a half of this on the cost of the stall. She doesn't want to spend more than one eighth of the budget on transportation. Dahlia's mother plans to. Miss, I can't see the rest of English.
So she plans to take no more than 250 books to the fair. All right, so if we were this, if we were on this page in the exam, what are some of the things that we would underline? What's the important information here? What would we underline? The cost of the thing. So we would draw a line under the $16,000. That's important. What else is important for us to remember in this paragraph? Are you hearing me, students?
Yes, miss.
So
Yes, miss.
tell me, what is important? Siobhan, can you turn on your camera, please? We said that the $16,000 is an important figure. That is the budget. What do we mean by that's a budget?
Miss, may you
When
repeat?
someone I'm asking, what do we mean when we say she has a budget? When someone has a budget, what does that mean?
Miss, they have a certain amount of money that they would like to spend, and they won't go over that amount.
Right, okay. So if you have a budget that you're working with, you have a certain amount of money, you don't really want to pass that amount of, either you don't want to pass or you can't pass because that's all you have. So Dahlia's mom has said, okay, we have $16,000 that we can spend towards this book fair. And she has to think about renting the stall. She has to think transportation costs and all of that. All right. So what else is important? She doesn't want to spend more than half of that on the stall. And she doesn't want to spend more than 1/8 of the budget on transportation. So we'll underline those two. We'll underline the half and we'll underline 1/8. So now we need to find out how much is a half of the budget and how much is 1/8 of the budget. Let's work that first. Madison?
Miss, I already worked it out.
All right, so tell us, how much is a half of the budget?
Miss, a half of the budget is $8,000, and 1/8 of the budget is $2,000.
That's correct. So a half of 16,000, so 16,000 times a half, or 16,000 divided by 2 gives 8,000. So she does not want to spend more than 8,000 on the stall. 1/8 of $16, so 16 divided by 8 is $2,000. She doesn't want to spend more than $2,000 on transportation, getting the stuff in herself to the book fair. So those are important amounts, and we need to show the working out for those to say, okay, half of 16,000 is $8,000. This is what she wants to spend on the stall, or no more than that. And 1/8 of the 16,000 to spend on the transportation. You're going to need this information further down. Important to have it. All right, back to you, Madison. Please read what's on the screen now.
The remainder of the budget After stall cost and transportation will go towards decorating the stall and purchasing lunch for them both.
All right. So after she takes out the cost of the stall and the cost of transporting the stuff, she's going to use the rest to decorate the stall and to buy lunch. Amari, read this slide, please.
Okay, miss. There are 3 types of rectangular stalls to choose from. Type 1 and 2 feet by 2 feet.
No, type 1 is a 2 feet by 2 feet.
Type 1 is a 1 feet by 2 feet.
2
By
feet by 2
wait,
feet.
2 feet. Cost $600 per square foot. Type 2 3
No,
feet
type
by
2
4.
is 3 feet by 4 feet.
Type 2 is 3 feet by 4 feet. Cost $500 per square foot. Type uh,
Type 3 is 4 feet by 6 feet and costs $440 per square foot. So we need to work out now which 2 stalls are within mom's budget and give reasons for your answer. That's the first part of the task. 2 of the stalls are within mom's budget.
can you hear me?
Yes, so what do we do for that one? Any ideas? How do we know which of the 2 stalls she can purchase given the budget that she's working with? Any ideas, students, on how to approach it? Even if you don't yet have the answer, how do we approach it?
Me, miss, I have an idea.
Go ahead, Madison.
To find the square feet, we just times so for example, for type 1, we times 2 by 2 and we get 4. And what you do, you times the 4 by the 600, which would give you the cost of that tent or that stall.
Which is what?
Miss $2,400.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Um,
And for type 2 now,
Miss, for type 2, you do the same method, and I got $6,000.
so it will be 3 feet times 4 feet times $500 per square foot. And you said that gives?
$6,000.
All right. And for type 3,
Miss, I haven't finished working it out.
all right, so let's work type 3 together. So it's 4 feet times 6 feet times 440. Work that out, everybody, and tell me what you get.
Miss, I got the answer.
How much did you get?
$16,560.
4 feet by 6 feet times 440. Double check that, Madison. Any other answer so far?
Miss, I accidentally put the wrong number. So I got 5.
All right, so what is it?
I put 7 by accident when I was supposed to put 1.
Okay. So the 4 times 6 times 440 gives what?
5,280.
Are you sure? The 4 times 6 gives 24. Amari and Siobhan, are you working them out? 4 times 6, which we know is 24. And then we're multiplying that by the $440 because it's 440 per square foot. So what does that give?
Miss, did you say 4 times 6 times 440?
Miss,
Miss,
I did it again.
Go
Miss, I
ahead,
got
madam. Hold on, Amari.
I got 10,560.
What did you get, Amari?
Miss, I got the same answer. I got 10560.
All right, so 10,560. So the first table, which is the first stall, which is the smallest one, will cost $2,400. The medium size stall will cost $6,000, and the largest stall will cost $10,560. Which two can she choose once? Madison?
Miss, type 1 and type 2.
She could choose stall 1, right, type 1 or type 2. Could she take both of them if she wanted?
Yes, Miss.
Good night, Nathan. Could she
No,
take
Miss. Oh, yeah, no, Miss, she couldn't.
why both?
Because type 1 is 2,400, then type 2 is 6,000, and 6,000 plus 2,400 will give you 8,400, but her budget was
Right.
8,000.
So she has a budget of 8,000. Jordan, please turn your camera. So she can choose the smaller one. It's best if she just takes the medium sized one, and she'll be able. So if she takes one for $6,000, she would have how much money left from what she had budgeted for the stall? Yes, Madison.
Then she'd have $2,000 left.
Right. So she's working with an extra 2,000 from what she had set as. Remember, she said she doesn't spend more than half of the 16,000 stall. So in her mind, she was saying, all right, if I have to spend 8,000, I'm all right with that. But see, if she take the medium size one, she's only gonna spend 6,000. So she's good so far. Students, if you want to be on the camera on, or I'll have to remove you because I don't want anyone that we can't see. That makes no sense to me. So if you don't have your camera on, you're going to be removed from the screen. Just bear that in mind. So let's move on. Okay. All right. Nathan, can you read part B, please? Try again.
Okay, Miss, I was talking, but my mic was muted. Part B, getting transportation. His mom will correct her.
Try again, Nathan. We weren't hearing you.
Okay, Miss. Delia's mom correct her, asked her to take them to and
Read the
from
title
venue.
first, please.
Asked it.
Read the
Miss,
title, part B.
Part B, getting transportation. Delia Carter a taxi to take them to and from the venue. Taxi A is $550. One way is $1,000.
No, it's $550
$200
for the one way and $1,000 for the round trip back and forth.
Oh,
Continue.
Miss, I'm supposed to just continue.
Yes, repeat it.
Taxi is $550 for one way, $1,000 for a round trip. $200 extra per box. Taxi $600 for one way, $1,050 round trip, and $300 each first two boxes and $50 each for other boxes. 50 of the
Alright.
books can hold in one box. Miss, I can't suggest.
Okay, thank you, Nathan. Alright, so Nathan was a bit low, so I'm just going to repeat. Part B, getting transportation. Dahlia's mom will charter a taxi to take them to and from the venue. A will charge $550 for one way. So just if he's just dropping her to the venue and doesn't have to come back for her, $550. If he has to come back for her and take her back home, so that's a round trip, that's $1,000. And he's charging $200 extra per box of books. So for every box of books, he's going to charge $200 extra. Taxi B, $100 for one way, $1,050 for the round trip, $300 each for the first two boxes, and $50 each for other boxes. And Dahlia's mom is going to be able to put 50 books in the box. So which taxi offers the better to her? So let's work out how much she would pay if she takes taxi A.
Miss, can you reread the bottom part, please?
The bottom just says which taxi offers the better deal for her.
Okay, Miss.
So let's work out taxi A. Since she wants him to drop her there and pick her up, right? To and from. So that for taxi A, we have the $1,000 for the round trip. And since each box can hold 50 books is Dahlia's mom going to take? Remember, it told us earlier on. Do you remember how many books?
No, Miss.
So
50 for each box?
250 books. Yeah, she's going to take books. So if 50 books can hold in each box, how many boxes will she need? Anyone? She has 250 books. Each box can hold 50 books. How many boxes will she need?
Miss, she need
How can you work out how many boxes? She'll need 5 boxes. Okay. And taxi is charging how much per box?
$200.
So how much would she pay extra for the boxes?
$1,000.
All right. Other scholars, I'm not hearing from you. Come on. Speak up. You need to speak up and let me know. If you're not understanding, you also need to speak up and say, Miss, I'm not understanding how you got that or why you're doing that. I want you to speak up and let me know so I can repeat or I can further. So for taxi A, Delia's mom, she's gonna pay $1,000 for the round trip for him to bring her there and take her back. She has 5 boxes because it's 50 books with and 50 can hold in each box. So each box, taxi A in $200 per box. So 200 times 5, that's $1,000. So in all, if she takes tax A, pay $2,000. The $1,000 for the round trip and $1,000 for the 5 boxes. So let's work out how much she would pay on taxi B. All right, so it's a round trip, so she's gonna pay the $150. She has 5 boxes. He's charging $300 for the first 2 boxes, so that's 300 plus 300, that's 600, and then $50 each for the other boxes. So she has 3 other boxes. 50 times 3 is $150. So in all, for taxi B, she would pay the $1,050, the $600 plus the $150. How much is that in all, Madison?
1,500.
So let's see, 1,050 plus 600 is 1,650 plus the 150 for the 3 extra boxes. That would be 1,800. So taxi A, she would pay $2,000. Taxi B, she would pay 1,800. Which one is the better deal?
Miss,
Amari, which one is the better deal? I'm not hearing you, Amari. Better deal. If one is charging $2,000, same service, she can bring her same 5 boxes, drop her there and take her home. She's paying $2,000 on one taxi and $1,800 on the other. Which one is the better deal for her? Madison?
taxi B.
Taxi B. That is correct.
Miss,
So let's go on to the next question. How much money from the budget remains to be spent on decorations and lunch? Remember, Mom had said after she takes care of the stall and the transportation, she's going to use the money that is left back to buy decorations for the stall and to buy lunch for her and Dahlia. So how much money is left back? from the budget. Madison?
Miss, I got $8,200.
Tell me how you got 8,200.
So for the tent we spent $6,000, and then for the taxi we just spent 1,800. So the 6,000 plus 1,800 gives you 7,800. So then we take away that from the 16,000, and I got 8,200.
That's suppose she had bought the smallest stall for the 2004. How much would she then have left back? So everybody work out. We had said we would go with the medium, but some students could have chosen the smallest because that's within her budget too. So if she had chosen the smallest one for 2,400, still went with taxi B, how much money would she get back from budget?
Excuse me, miss.
Go ahead, Madison.
11,800.
11,800. Correct.
Yes.
Because the 2,400 plus 1,800 would give 4,200, and we take that from the full 16,000 that she had set aside as a budget, and so she would have 11,800. All right, so Amari got that as well, 11,800. Amari, you can use the mic. Something wrong with your mic?
Miss, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Miss, it wasn't
Alright,
working a while ago. I had to exit the meeting and go back on.
All right. Do you scholars have any questions so far based on what we've done? We have 2 more parts left in this particular performance task. So what we've done so far, we've after being told that Dahlia's mom had a budget of $60,000, and we worked out the cost of the stall. We chose the medium one, which was for $6,000. That was within her. And we also had option between tax A and B. And when we worked out what they were offering, we realized that taxi is offering the cheaper of the 2 fares, 1,800. So that's what we went with. So it was the $6,000 for the stall, 1,800 for taxi as transportation, and that was 7,800 in total. If we took that from the budget of 16,000, we got $8,200. And remember, we were told that whatever is left back after she took out the stall and the transportation, she would use that for decorations and lunch. So 8,200 if she had gone with the medium stall, and if she had gone with the smallest stall, which she could have if she wanted, she would have paid 2,004 for the stall, 1,008 for the transportation, is a total of 4,200. And if she took that from the 16,000, she will end up with $11,800 to spend on decorations for the stall and lunch for both of them. All right, let's continue. Calculating the sales. Siobhan, can you read part C?
Dahlia noted all the
Dahlia.
4/5 of the Dahlia noted all the sales. 4/5 of the books were sold. If the price of each book was $18.50, how much money was made for that day?
Okay, so how will we approach that? So Dahlia was making notes and she realized that they sold 4/5 of the books. The price for each book is $18.50. How much money did they make in sales for that day? How will we approach we work that? The first thing we need to do is to find 4/5 of the books. How many books were brought? Amari? How many books did Dahlia's mom take to
No,
the book fair?
Miss also raising my hand.
But can you tell me how many book fair? Madison?
Miss, she brought 250 books to the fair.
So they told us that, we were given that information. She brought 250 books to the fair. All right. So what is 4/5 of 250?
Miss,
Go ahead,
200.
Madison. So how do we set that out?
Miss, we multiply 4/5 by 250 over 1. And I got
All
2.
right. So 4/5 times over 1. Okay. Then we reduce. So we can use the 5 to reduce the 250. 5 goes into 250 50 times. And then we multiply the 4 by the 50. That's how we get the 200. So 200 books were sold then. How much money is that? Since each book is $18.50. How much money will you get from the sale of 200 books? So we're going to multiply the $18.50 by 200. It's 200 books that were sold, and each book cost $18.50. So $18.50 times 200. How much that? working it out, scholars? You have to be doing your multiplication. Set it out $18.50 multiplied by 200. Your answer?
Me did a different laptop and then from my
All right, so how much did you get?
I got 3,700.
$3,700, correct?
Miss, I
All
got
right,
that
let's go
too.
now to the last question. You got that as well? Okay. So that is the answer for that one. So the last question is, read for me, Amari.
Okay, miss. At the end of the day, number 2, Delilah's mom gave away 12 of the remaining books as free samples. How many books did they return home with at the end of the book fair? So, miss, it would be 250 minus 250 minus 12. Miss, that would be Miss 238.
Why did you say 250 minus 12?
Miss, because it says Delilah's mom gave away, and she had 250 books, and it said Delilah's mom gave away, and when you see gave away, it means minus, miss.
Yeah, but she gave what?
Miss 12 books.
12 of remaining
Oh,
books. Madison, what do you say?
Miss, I say they took home 38 books because she sold 200 books and then she gave away 12 of them. So you would minus 212 from 250, and I got 38.
Okay, that is correct. Do you understand where you went wrong, Amari?
yes, miss. Miss, I forgot that it was that would be minus 2. That had minus 200.
Okay. So remember, she had sold the 200 books. So it's only 50 books that were remaining from the 250, right? And then now, of that 50, she's gonna give away, she's going to give away 12 of them. So we're not taking 12 from the 250. We're taking 12 from the 50 that was remaining. So they're going to go back home with 38 books.
38.
38 books. Do you think it would make a difference if would it have made a difference if she had paid the taxi to go, right? So let's say she had paid the taxi to bring her there because she had 5 boxes. But when she's going back home with only 38 books, she's just gonna have 1 box, right? Because each box holds 50 books. Would it have cost her less if she had just charged the taxi up and back? Let's work out how much that would have cost. So let's go back to the slide with the taxi. Instead of paying the round trip fare with all those boxes, it would have cost her less. So she would pay oh, that's the wrong one. All right, so she would pay the $1,050 and so 1,008. So when she's going back with only the one box, how much more would she have to pay? As opposed to if she was going, let's say she didn't sell any of the books and she was going back with the 5 boxes, how much would she have to pay going back? Remember, for taxi B, it's the $300 for the first 2 boxes and $50 each for the other boxes. So if she was going back with all 5 boxes, she didn't sell any, she would have to be paying the $600 plus the $150 extra. This is extra, not to go back. So that would have been $750. But like or no, she just going back with 1 box because she has only 38 books. How much extra is she paying to go back for the boxes? Any ideas? Madison?
Miss, are you asking if she was coming back with all of the books, what she'd have to pay?
No, going back with just what she has.
Miss, she'd have to pay an extra $300 because it's only 1 box and it says for the first 2 boxes and the 1 is in the first 2.
All right, so going back, since she only has 1 box, she's only going to pay $300 for that 1 box going back. If she had been going back with all the boxes, she would have to be paying an extra $750, right? All right, so that's the performance, and this is what the performance tasks are like. They are very worded. They have several parts, and each part can even be broken down into other sections. And what you find that the answer that you get for some of the first sections, you're going to need those answers for the later sections. Also, the answers might be ended. Some of them might be open-ended. And what this means is that you might be given options whereby your answer might be different from the answer that your other classmates or the other persons doing the exam get, just based on measurements or based on your choices. There's not a hard and fast rule where you must get this answer. Sometimes it is, depending how the questions are structured you're doing. Sometimes it's just a one answer thing, a wrong thing. But sometimes there are several possible answers or even endless possible answers based on your choice. The important is you have to be able to back up your choice, because you will have places, you'll have sections where you are asked to explain why you chose that. Explain your answer. Why did you choose this one as opposed to other? And as long as you're able to substantiate your answer, as long as you're able to back it up with information that you were given or calculations that you got, then you're good to go. Because the examiners are looking for your reasoning skill, your critical thinking skill, your knowledge of the world, knowledge that from your experience on the planet after 10, 11, 12 years on the planet. You have gained some knowledge. You have you hear said, you watch the news, you read the papers on the internet, you gather information. So based on your real life knowledge of how stuff works, you can use it to solve problems, you can use it to manipulate
Miss, can I please
question
use the bathroom?
to get up in 4 minutes. So if you have to go now, you may go. We're wrapping up in 4 minutes. I'm just saying you have to be prepared for this level of reasoning and for this level of sectioned questions, each building on the next. And what I want you to do, as I suggested earlier, when you get your performance task, read through the entire thing from beginning to end without even trying to answer the question. Just read it, just to get an idea of the scope of it. What is it about and what you're going to expect it to do. On your second reading, go through and underline the important names, the important figures, the cost of things, the unit value of things, the units themselves. Those are important information. Also important is if you are told what not to do or make sure to do this. Remember, you're going to have some parts where there are options. So you're going to do part A or part B. Do not do both. You're not going to get extra marks for doing both. If you are to choose A or B, choose one or the other. You don't need to working out for the two of them. Well, in some cases, yes, you show the working out for the two of them, and which would prove why you're choosing that particular one. But let's say you have option B, and each one had a total different scenario, total different working out. If you do both, you're not going to get extra marks. You choose one and you do your working out for that one, and you make your choices for that one. You write your answer for that one. If you do both, you're going to get the marks for the first one that you do, not for the other one. So very careful and read carefully, underline important parts, and make sure you answer all the sections. Make sure you label your sections properly. So that's a wrap for tonight. Make sure to join me tomorrow, where we're going to be doing, tomorrow is ability tests. Same time tomorrow, we'll do our ability test. So I'll see you then. Remember to say good night. Those in the chat, type good night. And thank you for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow. Scholars on the screen, thank you for being here with me on screen and helping me to work out the problems. As usual, I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Good night, students.